Okay. That should be up and running. Okay. Morning, Wallen. How you doing? How was your weekend? Okay. So over the weekend, did a few streams. Got changes is working in its first iteration. So now it will log all the things, which I think I probably eventually want to put some Seymour or something on. Although if a change is happening this frequently, then that's a problem anyway. But I'm liking the way this is looking overall. But now we can track the assigned user, the projects, the title, the description, the review date changing. So everything on here. Morning, Doctor. How you doing? So yeah, this works pretty well. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. It loses a little bit. It's 50-year-old stuff. Okay. So the goal today is to not do too much typing because I have some serious RSI from the weekend. We're just getting stuff done. So we did make a lot of change. There's a lot of code involved in these changes, which is good. But we do have, yeah, several days worth of changes. About 7 days. So what I want to do, I want to start by trying to figure out how to do this. So I've had a few instances where also just letting queues decouple code. Yep. I've had a few instances where the Kafka topics have got wiped out. So I want to see if I can get a script running that I can bring up the system and recreate the topics, because we're getting to the point where there's enough topics to make it a complete pain in the rear if I have to recreate these every time, right? So if these get wiped out, then messy. So we'll do a bit of housekeeping. So what I want to do is I want to see if basically I can get that to run. And then yeah, so cd/bin, and then that basically. So how do I run a script after startup in a Docker Compose, and I want to do it on the broker. Run script. Right. I believe that's what that is. Yeah, it's SH. Run. All I need to do is run a shell script. So basically in the Docker container, there's these scripts that I can use to control the broker. So I can basically do I should be able to do that. Hey Connie, how you doing? Zookeeper is not an option. Bootstrap server, there we go. Localhost 29092. There you go. That's what I need to do then. It's nice. So I need to run that command. Bootstrap server localhost 29092. 29092 is the port that's opened on for the actual internals. 9092 is the external one. So I just need to run this command. Doing fine. Doing way too much stuff at once, but doing fine. I think when you ask my word to say I'm too slow, but no one asked though anyway. It's slow happens when you do 4 things at once. Yeah. Overworked. So I want to see if I can get this script to run, and then I can drop the topic, because I had an issue with deleting a topic the other day, and when I deleted the topic, it just broke the Kafka cluster. Well, you want to be like Goldilocks and find just right. So I need to know how to run a shell script after startup. Docker Compose. Once it was different on me, I was mostly far ahead of time. Had features done before the PLs could write them. Don't have to talk with me. Slow down. Deploy bash script with Like I want to bundle the bash script with it or execute it. Hold on. So this person, they're running a. It's not what I want. But I lost motivation after realizing that I don't win something with that behavior. Early in the project, maybe. Oh, I see what working on. No, in general, when I own a code base completely, I knew exactly where and what to change to get to the goal as fast as possible because I was lazy when stuff just fast done to chill more. Yeah. It's an early career thing, that one. Get into like I like to achieve things. I like to get stuff done, but um yeah, you can't overachieve. It's not healthy. How's your weekend? Um my weekend was good. I got this showing. I got the changes working in the application this weekend, which was nice. This is kind of allowing me to at least show what I'm thinking going forward. Because again, all these things are things you'll be able to monitor and say, hey, I want to be told about these happening. So the fact that I'm able to consume them is a step forward. Um, Hard to pinpoint the cause of the burnout. I mean, for me, burnout comes when I've just been slogging away at projects. I've not really been making progress. Nothing really seems to be coming together. Um, and I just feel no sense of achievement from anything I'm doing. So yeah, get some rest, take a break. I mean, get some rest independently and take a break from what you're doing and refocus. It's okay to not do stuff. So yeah, I was getting changes working. So this was cool to see. I like this that it worked this well. Main thing, it captured. It didn't lose anything. It captured all the changes that I made. It displayed them. That was a real milestone. So right now, I'm just trying to tidy up what I was doing so that I can commit it and get it merged. I'd also try not to do too much typing because my wrist and hand and my elbow are killing me. Way too much typing. Rambling Geek, Mojo, hello. Good day. Oh, for one of you, good morning. For one of you, good afternoon. How's things? reading it, but I'm paying no attention to it. No, I don't want to use. I don't want to use it from the back. I don't want to use it from the command line. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to basically execute this script from this bash from this Docker Compose when it's started, because then I can bootstrap the topics. So I can do liquid sky dot topic name, right? And create all the topics. You're getting a cold. I hope not. I've got I've got a bit of a headache. Um, feel kind of stuffy, so maybe. I saw a new Deadpool movie last night. Nice. You enjoy it? We're going to get into work stuff today. Yeah, give me 2 hours. I'll be doing the same. Overriding the exec on directive. What do you mean? I don't. Runs right, but how do I do that in here? Do I do exec? But then I need the volumes mapped, right? Nice. Movie is so much fun. Nice. I'll start another container depending on Kafka and call the script from there. No idea how to do that. But I wonder if I could do copy file into container. Oh, so if I did dot slash topics sh to bin to slash tmp slash topics sh, and then here that entry point is that that's Docker file though, right? Not Docker Compose. Done that way. Or do you do entry point like that here? Script. Oh, okay. I see. I see. Thank you, Kelly. Hopefully I got that mute quick enough. So that would be sh temp topics to sh. Right. Okay. Time to ruin everything I've been. So all this is stored so I can get to display it, but I'm about to just wreck the topics and stuff. So Right. So we need to do services down Kafka. What are you trying to do? Sorry, my audio. Apex, good morning. Sorry, I didn't see that. I'm trying to, I want to write a script to initialize the topics when you start Kafka up. Just so they're there because I've um hit this enough now that I don't want to. Okay. So that'll wipe the topics out. So let's see. Services up Kafka. So here I want to see liquid sky topic name, ideally. If it worked. But it didn't, it failed. Okay. Let's remove that part. Services up Kafka. No. I just have to compose. Broker. That starts. Okay, so my script is there. That's good. So what I want to have happen is this script should run when the container is started, or when the broker is started, rather. And yeah, I think do you have a Docker file broker as a service? Does it have a container? Again, my understanding of Docker is growing, but not there yet. So this is a Docker compose that I basically pull from Confluent and modified for my needs. This is what I have to run this off of. I don't have a Docker file to play with. What I'm trying to do is just execute a command once it starts up to so I've got the script part now and I can copy the script over, that's no problem. Yeah, Kafka is a third party image, I suppose is the right way to put it. Runs a one-off command. because it's kind of like I need to do that and do topics.sh, that sort of thing. I know that's not valid, but yeah, it valid. Yeah. So that didn't work. Their commands to run on the Docker on yeah. Entry point. Hold on. Entry point. We usually do that inside the Docker file, as far as I know. No, I don't have a Docker file, so I have what I have. No, that didn't start a broker. That errored. Command not found. That's running. That's either running that too early. The script can just run from outside the container, though. How can it run from outside the container? No worries. Yeah, it's volume mounted. This works. I know this works. It's just the point at which it's available, I think. Entry point. Yeah. Unable to start process exec. No such file directory. Is that? But I tried that before, right? I tried sh, and then that way. That's another way of seeing this. Entry point must be a string. Oh, am I in one of those places? What am I doing? Wendy, please. How you doing? Do you already see this? No, I did not. That's a customized image of Apache Kafka. That's about like create topics in the README, sure, but these scripts and things are there. Gotcha, yeah. That's not a standard. If you want to have Docker automatically create topics in Kafka generation, that's definitely not. init.sh. So, well, let's have a look. sh minus c temp topics.sh. That's valid. It's valid entry point. That looks healthier. Let's have a look. Ah, come on. When you have too many windows. So it didn't run, but it did. It didn't. It just ignored me. If Kafka create topics. Okay, so that he runs that create topics sh then. Because it's part of the Docker file. Yeah, it is as part of the Docker file. I don't have the Docker file. Okay, that's that. So did that just ignore me or? I don't think that's required. Nope. It knows that needs to be. I'm just because I'm using the wrong things. SH. It is SH, it's not. It isn't bash. That's weird. I've seen that. What can I send? What am I missing there? Run JavaScript. They have. There's a few examples here. Bin sh-c temp topics.sh. Try that one. Why don't we just make the Docker file and compose a Docker file? I don't want to go messing around creating a Docker file. Docker file is just, as far as I understood it, Docker file is just another way of doing the same thing. Shouldn't this be possible? Like, this feels like it should be possible. So we go to. Oh, so anyway, it's a bash. All links to bash anyway. Um, I've understood compose as a way to launch orchestrate Docker containers from the Docker file. I thought Docker file and Docker compose were, because you can build and run a container without a Docker compose. Docker compose, I just like the structure of a Docker compose because it reads a little easier. It makes a bit more sense to me than the Docker file. So I understood. So another option would be that. Let's see if that changes anything. Like this shouldn't matter. Even if it is bash, it should still execute, and that's still valid. We tested the script. We ran the script. It runs properly. I don't know what is wrong with that dog. Okay, so that's starting. Init Kafka. command pipe entry point bin sh command. Okay. So that by the way is the full fat version of Kafka. But the concept is there. No, I think that is Kafka Broker, I think. CP Kafka. That is this one that I'm trying to do in. Because this is the one that has those scripts. So what they do there is they say entry point is an array. So bin c, and then they do command. I'd rather not put the topic creation in here. I get it. So they do that to block. Like, I don't mind putting it in here. It just feels. Let's try. I do appreciate the links and the help here. Thank you very much for this. I kind of want to do. I'm trying to do this because I think it's just something that is. Entry point must be a string number. We've had examples of doing that though. Entry point. Let's not copy that script in there if that's going to be the case. I mean, I could run the script just as easily, right? So, which will allow me to keep it separate. It's amazing what people consider to be easy. It's painstaking, wasn't it? What am I doing wrong there then? If that's complaining to me that that's not a string, is that because it's not that? I didn't think it was. Let's see. Entry point must be a string number. Oh. Right, that. So the purpose of this, by the way, is because to start up the project and get everything running, it's getting harder. The more topics I create, the more the busier this gets, the harder it gets to have to go through and manually create them. There's a replication factor, right? So this is a housekeeping item that I want to do. Also, as other people work on it, then it's it does make it a little bit more friendly. Okay, did you run? Yes, you ran. You still didn't create a topic. Do I even see it? Do I even see it trying is the question. Like, when does it do it? Uh, nope. It doesn't even try to run that command. No, it doesn't even run it. You utter pain in the bum. Oh, but okay, I feel what you mean. They actually do, don't they? They create a second copy. Yeah, you're right. I see what you said now. Apex, my apologies. Ah, so what they do in it, Kafka, Kafka, Kafka image. So they create another copy of it, which then they do this with. That's very weird. So they don't connect. They basically don't connect it to the thing, and then they do that would be broker. I don't know what I said. I'm glad it made sense to you. Can you have the script bag execute script bag execute into the container? Not sure what you mean there, Mojo. Let's see if this works. I don't much fancy having a second copy of. Will it? Will it basically terminate? Yeah, it will terminate, won't it? Because there's nothing running. So it's down Kafka. Bash exec. Again, I'm not sure. So what we should see this time is we should see an init Kafka one. Cannot resolve Kafka from Bootstrap servers. That almost worked. Or rather, it kind of. I think that's because that will be need to be that. I thought that should resolve that. Broker. It should be in the same network, right? By default, everything's created in the same network when it runs as part of one. Yeah, because these refer to broker. Yeah, hold on. Why didn't that work? Yeah, that should be on 29092. Oh, we've got to change things. That's why. Bash exit it into the container. Ah, gotcha. Could do, but then the service PS1 is not generic, and it's very then there's a hidden part. That looks healthier. It ran the script. It didn't create the topics. Node may not be available. Yeah, that's kind of the point. You mean doesn't do much blocking until then, does it? Well, hold on. That's depends on broker. I see what you're saying, Moja. The idea of being able to run it as part of this, but this doesn't. This doesn't necessarily know about Kafka. So messing around and hard coding anything in here for Kafka would just be hiding that behavior for later. So if you check it out and run it, and you don't know it does the Kafka pieces, and also it doesn't always do the Kafka pieces. So the idea would be that I can do it all within here. Well, that'd be ideal. This might be a definition of insanity thing. Interesting that this doesn't work while run as part of the same container, but does work while run as part of a separate container, or does kind of work. The problem is this. Let's do Zookeeper. It shouldn't need a dependency on Zookeeper. Nothing should need a dependency on Zookeeper anymore. So what this is doing is it's starting a copy of the container, but not initializing any of its behavior. So it doesn't join, because this is how you get more throughput, right? Create more brokers to process more messages. Services. Oh, Kafka. I was also thinking of this I've had to use recently. Gotcha. I mean, I could, if this doesn't work, if I can't get this to work, I could potentially look at the option of making the services PS1 understand there's a script in here, run it, right? And then it's generic, and then I can control that um, more readily. Yep. You don't not want to work, do you? I don't like having a container set out there, though. Creating Kafka topics. Oh, that's not good. Command not found. Checking topics. Ah. That might not have failed quite so spectacularly. Um, if this works, I might make this execute the topics sh script just from a readability perspective. I don't like having big strings of unhighlighted text inside. What? Bin Kafka topics. Oh, because it's not a bloody script anymore, is it? They changed that part. Bootstrap server replication factor. Yeah, I don't think it's an sh script anymore. I think it's just that. So it does look like this does work. This blocks until the gonna need new hard drives at this point. The amount of, right. So init Kafka. Nice. There we go. There we go. Liquid Sky topic name. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now let's put a volume in there. And I'm just gonna get Brave volume dot so dot slash topics dot sh times to tmp topics dot sh, right? So that's going to go into the bin directory and then run the command. And this is going to create planning items. And then instead of doing this, this is going to do slash tmp slash topics.sh. Let's bring that down. We did it. Yes, we did. Thank you very much for the assistance here. I do appreciate it. It's this is just another one of those things, right? Where to be effective with the development tools, to be effective with Docker, to be effective with deployment, to front end, back end, all these pieces just make it harder and harder to become good at everything. And you kind of learn them. You learn them more when you need them. And then if you don't use them regularly, you forget about it and you have to come back and learn it again or see what's changed. And you're like, oh, I think I did this once. And that's just the constant battle with phase, right? Of yeah. Okay, so let's see. Init should sit listening. Once Kafka becomes available, that never stops. That's annoying. And that didn't run my script. So it didn't. Uh, Yeah, sorry about that. I sneezed before, so. Why does that not work now? Did I miss something? We had that working. Sorry about that, Mojo. We had that working. The confusing thing is this works. So why does that work? Let's see. Okay, so then there. Nope. Okay. I had one success. Why isn't that working? Oh, pants. Oh, was that my problem in the script before? I had localhost, didn't I? So with that canvas script, the idea is that it's first script you run to set up and configure everything. You can use services. And if it's a one-time script that runs the initial configs for also SQL, Kafka, etc. Well, you wouldn't run. So I would assume that what you'd do there is you'd initialize them and then run extra scripts to do the actual initialization of each piece. Right, because then you can script out populating Kafka configuration and also a configuration. There we go. Okay. And just to prove that is stable. We do this. Once that stops. The thing I don't want to get too deep into is doing lots of DevOpsy stuff too soon. Because the just the sheer amount of time it'll take to maintain as well. Okay, so that's that. This is just a convenience for right this second. Trying to make sure that it's at least starting in a place where the system can be. Okay, so that should start that up. But the reason I did the services PS1 to do this is so that this has this can grow without actually doing without being specific. That was the purpose. So I can add a new component to the system and have it you know run this, and then the script just starts everything, and each piece should set itself up. So adding new components just becomes There you go. Okay, so topics created. Awesome. I now think that would have worked as a script, but still don't like having this because that init sits there until it finishes. Can resolve. What do you mean we can resolve Kafka? Where? Derp. That's an address. Yeah, right. Console. Well, console's a little different in that the Kafka compose and the Kafka config and Docker config and the Ocelot config. But I'll consider those things. I wonder if it bugs me that this sits there, but you can always delete it when it's done. And it does terminate eventually. So once it's done, you can just delete that. Okay. That's that housekeeping item. Updated Docker compose for Kafka to create. Okay. So again, all I'm trying to do today is a bit of housekeeping. Right. I'm trying to get these things done. I'm going to update the README in a second. Just so the project's in by the time this commit goes through or this PR goes through. There is a lot of changes in it, but it does correct some things, clean some things up, and I want it to be in a better place. Okay. So we run the application. Client is still running. I'm thinking about the other things. So for the SQL stuff to run, this is built on Docker Compose. The problem is you don't know when things are ready. That's the big challenge you have. One of the things I was contemplating there is what if there was a a pre and post component to these things? Like this is called Docker in on the repository right now, but if there was a post thing, then you could actually, you're not wrong in that you could potentially, after, if you did a post PS1, you could actually run all the SQL configuration, similar to Ocelot and Kafka configuration in console. You could even do it as a post PS1, and then, as you mentioned before, Mojo, Docker exec and run the script, so you didn't have to mess around. Because this works, but it's kind of lost in the like I'd rather have the containers start up and do that. I like to have a play with that. Okay, so the system's up and running. We should be able to refresh. There you go. Okay, so it's now. Do you have any changes yet? Yes, you do. Do you have any changes? Yes, you do. Everything's got changes now. Oh, there you go. No changes. Okay, so um, creating new widgets. Some more widgets should be made. 12. It should be assigned to Marta. Let's change the projects as well. Okay, that should give it plenty to think about. Nice. Uh, there you go. Title, assign user, and description. So these two changes got picked up in the same batch. So even though I changed, actually, there should be a third there, shouldn't there? Should be one more change. There you go. Oh, it knows the change. So if you send off several changes and the system's busy, it'll batch them together. If you send off individual changes and the system's not busy, then the likelihood is it'll process them one at a time. Right, that bash script, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff to it, right? It's not just a little thing, it's the entire system. Now we can set up canvas, yeah. Okay, so that did produce 3 messages. Last updated, assign user, description. It missed the projects though. Did it calculate? I don't think it calculated the project changes. No, it didn't. Oh no. That's not good. I didn't want to find a bug. Um, so it determined it so that the this change here, it determined last updated change, and I don't show last updated as an actual change. That's why that's there. That'll be an interesting one. That shouldn't calculate the change. Uh, why is associated projects now not working? So they're being calculated as associated projects. Those two. But so for some reason, the project change resolver is not is determining there's no change there. So here, when I change these, right, what should happen is it should get to that project change resolver pretty quickly overall. So the planning items is published. Now changes should publish, which, or is it not doing it at this point? No, it doesn't. So this is the challenge of the pipeline being out of sync, right? Or rather, the data being out of sync, is that in a dev environment, that's more often the case because you're gonna have test data, you're gonna have, oh, this broke, this didn't do this, so I'm gonna fix this. Now you've got bad data. So over time, building the right tools to make sure that I can replace the data and have a clean copy of the data to work off of is going to be important as well. So, such as using the ETL pipelines to reproduce things, or because I don't want to lose all my data, but knowing what is a source of truth versus what is recreatable is an important step. So, having the planning items database be in a good shape, and then say, okay, well, recreate the rest of the data, is it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be a little bit of work. This is very, very, very naive in its current form, but it doesn't. This one doesn't deal with um, the idea of these would live in the projects themselves because they tell the story of um, how to transfer data into it. But there's also transforms, right? So um, this doesn't do any transform right now. This just says, oh, here you go, A to B. It's kind of dumb. But what this would need to do is say, okay, well, I've got a planning item. I need to transform it into a planning item integration event, and that's what gets stored in the changes here, right? So it's not just a case of taking the item um, and uh, producing it. You need some way of what you actually realistically need is some way of saying do this, right? You need this query essentially. I don't like the idea of building this to serve to serve um, two purposes. I've experimented that in the past where basically I've created a version um, that can be invoked and a version that is built, but I don't like that style here. I don't think it fits. Um, but the benefit of that is if you change this piece, you can just rerun the generation pipeline and then it works. But it's a hard thing. And again, these this system is not the source of truth, right? For planning items, planning items is the source of truth for planning items. So if I'm doing changes, I have to compare A to B. If I don't have a copy of that thing or that copy is wrong, um, then yeah, that's harder. Um, Creating new widgets. So this is that one, right? So this thinks it's got these projects associated. Let's see if it now. This was working. We have had this working. This is creating dumb changes because it's just yeah. Oh, ads. So what I need to look at here is what did that look like before? It knows it's changing. That's infuriating. Oh, that changed. That's exactly what it should have done the other two times. Morning, Napalm. How you doing? Now I'm even more confused. I mean, this isn't the final version of changes. This is just trying. What I'm trying to do here is for the purpose of demonstrating on a stream is to be able to describe what I'm looking to do with the system. And ultimately, you be able to subscribe to any of these things changing, right? So if I change the user it's assigned to, if I change the review date, right? These are things that like move these around. And the idea is that you'll be able to see eventually the changes happen. Yeah, change Marta to Helen. So um, but you'd be able to say, "Oh, I want to subscribe to the assigned user being changed," or I want to if the assigned user is Helen, then I want to be told that that's been assigned to Helen. Um, if the review date changes, if the review date goes too far in the future, if the review date goes, well, you can't go in the past, but we're going to put blots in there. But this is why I've focused on this part the last couple of weeks is to be able to demonstrate this is what I'm thinking. Um, and by making the system distributed, by disconnecting the actual front end from this piece, I can react more to this, right? I don't have to have a backlog necessarily. So yeah, you'll be able to subscribe. Okay. Um, so our housekeeping of getting the Kafka the topics created automatically is there. That's done. Still got to think about how to do the ETL tool as such, right? This tool is necessary. There's no doubt about it because I can't take backups of the data. I do need to be able to recreate the system from scratch. Um, and these are things that get lost in development, right? So when you're building a system and you're asked, "Hey, can I have this information?" It's easy to focus on that information and lose track of the parts you need to maintain. And you often live with those problems because it's just more practical to just get the job done. But if you can build the tools as you go, and again, we get to value, right? Um, how do you propose that as value to the end customer, to the end user? Because they're kind of nice to have in the development environment. What I could do is just wipe everything out and start again every time. But if I could get a good copy of a database, let's say, a couple of months from now, we're using this system to build this system, right? So we've got all the planning items and tenants and stuff like that. And we want to use that data because it's a good example of the data in a dev environment. Wouldn't it be good to have the ability to recover the databases with their source data, so planning items, tenant management, tickets, or whatever, and then have the tool generate all the extra data into the right places so that then it's a good starting point. You don't back up these because these are snapshots. You just have to rebuild them. You don't back up pipelines, but you do copy that data in from its current snapshot, right? Because that's what it should look like. And yeah, there's so many pieces, and the bigger the system grows, the easier it is to lose track of those things, and um, building the tools around them are just as important. And they should be treated as production tools, right? But the application is up and running. We have that. So this pipeline tool is naive at best, as it stands. Right, it can pull data from, and it can do stuff, but it can't transform. And again, one of the things I want to consider is, well, how do I keep this intact? Because yeah, because I can't use these data sources. I can't hook the ETL tool into the entire system. That would be messy. Um, and a lot of dependencies and stuff that I just won't want to do. But the challenge is this: if I wanted to take, let's say, this would be changes.json, right? So this would be for changes. Um, let's go. So this would be from planning, say. Planning items, as it's called right now. This is going to get renamed planning eventually. If you're new to the stream, by the way, if you have any questions, thoughts, opinions on what I'm doing, you're more than welcome to share. I'm happy to talk about this stuff. This isn't just I mean, it can be a co-working stream if you want it to be. That's fine. But if you do want to ask questions, you're more than welcome. So this would be planning items, integration events from planning items. So the problem with this would be this wouldn't be a field. This is more likely to be this, right? Because this is going to be why won't you multi-line? It doesn't like multi-line. Because what I need to do is build that. Got a feeling I see Dapper in my future. And yes, there are ETL tools that exist. Yes, there are third-party options, but I want to understand these challenges and I want to make sure I can build the solution or use the correct solution. But this is an entire um, this is an entire tool unto itself, an entire project unto itself, right? Because this would have to go, and this would be changes. Um, and this would be planning items. There would be no table here. That's the challenge. This would have to be query this out. I'm heading out. Thanks for stream. Apex, thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you very much for all the assistance with the Docker stuff today. Appreciate it. And have a great day. Yeah, I'm going to get moving myself. Okay. So, hey, Hexic, how you doing? Okay. So the main housekeeping item I had on this on task today was the Kafka can getting this up and running, right? I want to finish one more thing before I call it on the actual on the branch that this is on. So view changes, the intention of view changes was to be able to see the changes that have happened inside the UI. I don't think there's much point. So that README, I need to go through this README. I want to make sure this is documented out. On the dashboard, which does give me another thing to work on because the dashboard is now slightly wrong. Um, so the landing page right this second, no, not the landing page, the dashboard for planning shows the app inbox. The app inbox is here, he says. Um, um, if fetch change type, planning item, planning item. This is all still to be determined. Yeah, we need all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the only thing that would do is it's still TBD. Yep. It's scary when you see a big spreadsheet with TBD written all over it. You have to glance and make sure they mean to be determined versus actually putting user initials on. or developer initials. Yeah, there is that. Or worse. Yeah. I've got a huge spreadsheet I work on this big massive thing. Ugh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I am unfortunately at my time limit. Tomorrow what I will do is well, I'm going to get this documentation updated for the README because I want to get that done as part of this branch. I think there's no benefit in doing the navigation off this planning item on the dashboard, right? That's just a nice to have. That's that's a demonstrator feature. That's not the final version. Get this merged and then be able to talk about what comes next. So from view changes, there's a whole source of there's expanding upon the functionality, but to get that to work, there's a lot more needed to be done to the actual process of changes. Because again, changes the way the distributed system works, you might end up with a situation where you don't have some of the data. So it might be that I pivot a little bit to some of that ETL stuff and figure out how I can populate that data just for a little while to try and give myself a break. Um, but ultimately kind of creating almost saga-like behavior in terms of, okay, do I have this information? No. Do I expect this information? Yes. Okay, you're going to delay and wait for these changes so they can process changes accurately. Also deployment and testing, testing of the system is going to be massive. And the bigger the system gets, the more complicated that testing effort gets. So it's going to be ever more difficult. But yeah, so that is going to be me for today. I apologize, but I do have to go and do a job. So we're going to raid Layla. She should be still streaming. She's actually doing a co-working quiet stream today. She's working with Aspire. So I will send you over there. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are around later on, I hope to be able to join the stream today one line. I do apologize. Friday was a 7-hour meeting. It was a hangout session while debugging stuff, but it was 7 hours. So yeah, you should join one line stream later on if you haven't been there before. It's a great place to hang out. So there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Have a great rest of your day if I don't see you again. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye all.